To everyone who's watching on our Facebook uh, live, we will start in around 14 to 15 minutes. Do you guys see my screen? Do you guys see my screen? In around 10 minutes, we will start. To all Zoom participants, you can just mute and unmute your mic once you have questions, and everyone is open to talk. You can just unmute yourself if you guys have question. At exactly 6 p.m. London time, we will start our webinar, which is around 7 minutes. Anyway, as usual, as like my other webinars, this one is a recorded one, and I will be posting this webinar on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. As for the record, this will be our 6th webinar for MACD-CSM. And today I will be discussing a bit more advanced techniques or strategy that I've been using on how to use Fibonacci properly with my MACD-CSM currency meter. I hope you guys can hear me properly, especially the ones who are at our Zoom meeting. Again, in a few minutes, we will start. As usual, I will discuss the 28 pairs from Aud Cad to USD Jpy for the trades last week. Hello, Gabriel. Later, if you have any questions, you can just simply unmute your mic and so everyone would hear you too. For those who are watching us on Facebook, you can just simply comment your questions here and I'll try to answer to the best that I could. In 2 minutes, we will start. Hello everyone, we will start in a bit about our market review for this week. I hope you guys can hear me properly. Okay, let's start now everyone. As usual, again, I will be discussing the 28 pairs that our MACD-CSM is covering from AUD Cad to USD Jpy. I will start from AUD Cad up to USD Jpy. And I'll be discussing about this week's strategy, like the Fibonacci on how we use it, and a bit more advanced strategy on how to use Fibonacci levels on MACD CSM currency trend meter. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good week on trading last week, and I hope you made some profits. I got some message from new members too that they said they managed to take the trades. And for those who new members who are watching this sixth webinar, I hope you watch the previous webinars first so you would have a deeper understanding on how to use MACD CSM. Because this time I will be discussing MACD CSM with Fibonacci on a bit more advanced levels. And I hope you would be able to follow it. So I hope you watch the fifth webinar, especially the fifth webinar before this webinar. So let's start everyone. And I'll be discussing on how we check the general trend to on how we would be able to enter the market. So what's first? AUD CAD. Let's check the D1 time frame. As we can see, this is the D1 time frame. It's a buy signal. The H4 is a buy signal, and the H1 is a buy signal. It means that we should have been able to enter the AUD CAD pair last week. So because the general trend for D1 is a buy, it means that we would be only looking for buy signals. So this is how we would plot the Fibonacci level. So at first, this is again Friday. This was the last day of trading. This is Thursday, this is Wednesday, this is Tuesday, and this is Monday. So February 15 was Monday. As we can see, there's no buy signal last Monday. It came out on Tuesday. So we would plot our Fibonacci 2 days prior. So it would be like this from here to here. The support and the resistance. And as we can see, this is the 50 level Fibonacci. I'll put a horizontal line so we will see it. This is the 50 level Fibonacci. As we can see, the buy signal came out above the 61.8 level. So as the kind of strategy that we always use, we should always wait for the retracement at 50 Fibonacci. So you, instead of entering a buy signal here at H1, which is around here, which is 0.98478, we would have our buy limit. This is gonna be a buy limit at 50 Fibonacci at 0.98417. And as I always keep on saying, you can have two options. You can have a buy limit at 50 Fibonacci, or you can have a buy limit at 38.2 Fibonacci. Either of the two may work. So if you enter at 50 Fibonacci, as you can see, the buy signal came out around here, but we should wait for the candle for the retracement, and our buy limit at 50 Fibonacci would be hit, and our TP would be our 100 Fibonacci, which is around here. So if you have a buy limit and it was hit at 50 Fibonacci around here, you should have a TP at the next day, which is a Wednesday, and you would have a 20 pips profit for this. And if you enter at 38.2 Fibonacci, you would have a profit of at least 25 pips. It's a 5 pips difference. As usual, guys, we won't enter at 61.8 above Fibonacci levels. We always have to wait for 50 Fibonacci. And once you exit here at 20 pips, as you can see, that same day, this was Wednesday, February 17, there is another buy signal here, right? And the buy signal, the closing candle for this buy signal is around here, which is 0.98511, which is above 61.8 Fibonacci. And as usual, we would do the same strategy. We won't be entering this trade yet, because as you can see, the profit here is just around 11 pips, and we don't want to enter above 61.8 Fibonacci. So we should wait for it to have a retracement around 50 or 38.2. And as usual, if you have a buy limit here, it would be hit here at the next hour instead of entering at this candle, this big candle. Let me zoom it so you'll guys be able to see it. So instead of entering around this price, the closing price of a buy signal, you would be entering around the wick of the next candle, and you would have a take profit the next day again, which is around 20 pips. So you can have two buys here at Aud Cad, and after that on Friday, this is Friday, there's another buy signal here. But if you would plot the Fibonacci again, so on a Friday, it's gonna our Fibonacci levels would be different, and we would plot it. So it's gonna be 2 to 3 days again prior to it. So it's gonna be like this. So as we can see, it's about 61.8, and if we would want to enter it, we should have a buy limit around here at 50 Fibonacci or at 38.2. But since there's no retracement that happened last Friday, we won't be able to re-enter this trade again, because it's above, it's very near to 100 Fibonacci already. So we would only have two trades for Aud Cad, which is around 40 pips for this week. And the next one, let's go to the next one, to Aud CHF. One moment. To Aud CHF. And as usual, we will check the trades this Monday. Again, the overall signal for Aud Cad, for Aud CHF is D1 since November. And what the only trades that we would be taking for Aud CHF would mean that only buy signals. And since H4 is a buy to since 2 weeks ago, as we can see, this was 2 weeks ago, around first week of February, we are only looking for buy signal for Aud CHF. And there was a buy signal around Wednesday. This is Wednesday. And so we would be plotting our Fibonacci here. Let me plot it around here. There it goes. And as you can see, there's the buy signal came out above 61.8 Fibonacci. Unfortunately, the retracement here is doesn't actually hit 50 Fibonacci. So it's gonna be 50 Fibonacci here. As we can see, it didn't hit the 50 Fibonacci by around very few pips. It's around just 1 pip difference. And sometimes this kind of strategy really that you won't be able to enter the trade, but don't feel bad about it. It's part of the trading. You can take all the trades that you wanna take, and don't feel bad about missing these kinds of trade. It's part of trading. There is the part where you can test how greedy we can be. So as part of trading, you know that being greed, having the greed to get instant money is very bad on a forex trading. So don't just feel bad about this kind of trades that we miss. As long as we follow our strategy, we can make profits. Just stick to our strategy, because sometimes if you just keep on breaking your rules on trading, it's not trading anymore. It's more of gambling. So, and we are not gamblers. We are traders. So the next one is Aud Jpy. I've already plotted the Fibonacci for Aud Jpy, and as usual, the general trend for D1 is buy. This means that we would only be taking buy signals. The same as H4, it's a buy since 2 weeks ago. And for H1, we would only be looking for buy signals. And as we can see, this is the buy signal, which is around February 18. This was Thursday. And the closing signal for Aud Jpy is a little bit above 50 Fibonacci, and we don't take trades above 50 Fibonacci. We want trades at least at exactly 50, or at least below or at least at 38.2. So you can have your buy limit here at 50 Fibonacci at 82.088 and or at 38.2 Fibonacci, which is around here, 82.011. So our TP as usual would be the 100 Fibonacci. So if you enter here and have a buy limit around this price, you would have a take profit at Friday, which is around 32 or 33 pips. So I know there are some users who doesn't want to exit this kind of trades, doesn't want to follow 100 Fibonacci level as their TP. Some are using 161.8 and some are using at 261.8. But if you guys would use this kind of take profit like 161.8, I'm always telling to have a positive SL. So for example, you don't want the 100 Fibonacci level here as your TP, which I actually don't do. I always stick to my plan just to take the 100 pips profit. I'm just discussing this for users who want to have a TP at 161.8. As you can see, your profit is around the 73 pips already. At least save 50 more pips of this. At least save at least 20 pips or 30 pips profit from here, which is just around here, the 100 Fibonacci. And if you want this pair to just ride this trend, it's fine as long as you have positive stop loss. That's very important to have a positive stop loss, so you would secure your profits, because we don't know when is the price gonna go down or if it's still gonna continue trending. But what's important is if you are already at profit, we should secure our profit. And again, to those people who are watching us on Facebook Live, you can just simply ask me questions. And everyone are open here too on our webinar. If you guys have any questions, we can tackle it here. You can just simply, guys, unmute your mic and ask me, or if you're shy to talk, you can just chat me here on our Zoom meeting. So the next one is AUD NZD. I know AUD NZD, if you watched my fifth webinar last week, I've told you guys that there is a signal at AUD NZD for this week, because as you can see, this is again, let me show it to you. This is Friday, because we are at D1. This is Friday. This candle is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. And last Friday, the last week Friday, we have our webinar. I told you that AUD NZD would have a buy signal for this week. And if you guys watched my webinar, I hope you managed to take this trade, because at that very week, we have a trade here at AUD NZD. I know it was this is Thursday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. So the signal came out at Wednesday, because at Tuesday, actually, there is a buy signal already for Tuesday. Since we don't just enter the trades on the buy signals, we still need to plot our Fibonacci levels. So as you can see, this is the closing price for AUD NZD, but we don't want to enter trades above 61.8, especially if the price is very near 100 Fibonacci already. We would wait for a retracement at 50 Fibonacci. And as you can see, it was hit around this price, the 50 Fibonacci. There was a retracement here, and our buy limit at 50 Fibonacci is hit. So as you can see, we would have a profit on AUD NZD at around 26 pips. So instead of having a profit of 9 pips, not entering on this candle, this closing candle, which is around 9 pips, we need to wait for the retracement around this price. And instead of having 9 pips profit, we would have a 26 profit for AUD NZD. This is how important Fibonacci levels are being used for MACD-CSM. As I always say, don't feel bad at not taking a trade because they didn't hit your 50 Fibonacci. It's part of trading. We can take all the, there's no 100% accuracy that we can take all the good trades on Forex. There are really some trades that we ourselves know that we could miss. And it's part of trading. As long as we are profit, that's what matters. So the next one is AUD USD. So for AUD USD, as we can see, the D1 time frame for AUD USD, this one. One moment, everyone. I'll delete some necessary levels that we have here. So as we can see, the AUD USD is a buy signal around this is end of first week, I guess. So H4 is a positive too, is a buy signal. Let's see, it was a buy signal last February 5, and on H1 we would check for buy signals on H1. So February 15, this is Monday, no buy signal. This is Tuesday, Wednesday. The signal came out at Thursday. So we would be plotting our Fibonacci to around 2 days prior, around the buy signal, because this is Thursday and we would move 2 days backwards. It's gonna be, we will plot the Fibonacci levels 2 days before. So if the signal is Thursday, we would plot it starting at Tuesday. So as we can see, the buy signal is around is below, actually it's below 50 Fibonacci, because the closing signal for AUD USD is around here at 0.77570, and as we can see, it is in between 50 and 38.2 Fibonacci, and it means it's a good signal. So we can just simply take the trade the moment this candle closed. And as usual, our TP would be around 100 Fibonacci, which would give us around 47 pips profit for AUD USD. What's this question? From Gabriel. So if my entry level, it's a little above 50 or Fibonacci level, we won't enter. Yeah, just don't enter to make things a lot more simple. Even if it's just 1 pip difference or 2 pips. But sometimes if you really want to take that kind of difference, 1 pip or 2 pips, it's fine. It doesn't matter that much as long as it's a very few pips. But if it's around 10 pips more, or at least around 7 to 10 pips more, don't take the trade anymore. But if it's just 1 pip, it's fine. But usually, because to me, I don't really, I mean, I always stick to my rules and just only enter at 50 pips. But entering a little bit, like just 1 pip or 2 pips difference above 50 Fibonacci, it won't hurt that much. So for me, it's fine as long as we always follow our exit strategy. Anyway, our exit strategy, I discussed it at our, I guess, fourth or fifth webinar. I hope you guys watch it, so you guys know how we would have our exit strategy for that. I've checked the CAD CHF. Anyway, this is the CAD CHF. It was a buy signal since the last month. On H4, it was around just start of Monday. It's a buy signal. So on H1, I've tried to check this. I know there is no trade for CAD CHF, but let me check it again. So this is the one moment. This is the buy signal that came out around Wednesday. So we would plot the Fibonacci level, which is gonna be like this. So yeah, as we can see, this is the buy signal for CAD CHF. It is above 61.8, and we won't be able to take this trade actually because it didn't hit the retracement around 50 Fibonacci. So yeah, it's fine. We don't have a entry for CAD CHF this week. It's the same one as here. Even you can see there is a buy signal there already. It's actually above 61.82. So there is no trade for CAD CHF. So for CAD Jpy, one moment, everyone. So for CAD Jpy, as we can see, the general trend for CAD Jpy is buy. It was buy since the end of November. So for H4, let's check it. It was a buy for almost for more than 3 weeks now. So it means that we would only be looking for CAD Jpy buy signals. So let's check this. The signal came out around this time already, which is Friday. So we would plot our Fibonacci up to here and then here. And as you can see, it didn't hit again the 50 Fibonacci, and so we won't be able to enter this trade at CAD Jpy, because as you can see, if you enter the CAD Jpy here, there is no really, if you would take the profit here, it's just around 16 pips, and it's fine if you won't be able to take this kind of trade. It's not that big anyway, so for me it's fine. It's a trade that we can't take since it's above 61.8 Fibonacci already. If it's below 50, it's a good signal. For CHF JPY, as we can see, the D1 time frame is a buy signal, which means we would be taking only buy signals for CHF JPY, but H4 is sell, which means we can't really take any trades for CHF JPY because the two signals on these time frames are not in the same signal. One moment. From Turkey. If currency is high, why take Fibonacci from the highest high to the lowest low? Normal from low to high if the currency is high. What do you mean again? If currency is high, why take Fibonacci from highest high to lowest low? What do you mean by here, Turkey? Can you please elaborate your question? Because but I'll try to discuss it. Let's check AUD. No. Let's check AUD JPY, for example, on your question. I hope I would be able to answer it. So AUD JPY, this is on our H1 time frame. Because I would plot the Fibonacci level like this. Since the buy signal is a buy, we would be looking for a resistance and support, right? So the buy signal is around like this. The Fibonacci level would be around like this. Then here. Oh no, it was a miss. So it's gonna be here and here. Then the buy signal is around this part, right? I don't I only take trades below 50 Fibonacci. So it means that I can make more profits for me. Because if the price for me is too high, usually the price have a respect for resistance. And if that's why I only have my take profit at 100 Fibonacci, because the price have a possibility to bounce back if it hits the resistance. We are really very lucky if this kind of prices would break the resistance level. But there are times, or most of the time, the price would always have respect this kind of levels, and there are times that instead of you would have a profit already, the price would just bounce back, and that's why I prefer that the price is lower here, lower than 50, or at least around 50 Fibonacci before entering this trade. Is that the questions that you are asking me? That's the explanation that I'm using here. I hope I answered it properly. Because, for example, if you enter a price around here, your TP is very small already. It's just around 12 pips if you take trades around this part of the around this around this Fibonacci level around 61.8, and our TP is just 100. It's more of scalping, and the scalping, as we know, would only give us few pips. And actually, I'm not a fan of scalping. That's why I prefer taking bigger pips than just taking 5 or 10 pips of trades. I hope I answered your question. If not, you can ask more. But I hope I answered it. Anyway, if you have more questions, just ask me, everyone. I hope I made clear to you. So the next one is are we at EUR AUD already? EUR AUD. I discussed the yeah, I guess EUR AUD. So for D1, the overall signal, one moment. The overall signal for EUR AUD was sell since November. This is around November 3 or 4, I guess. For H4, it was a sell too, since 2 weeks ago. So it means that we would only be looking for sell signals for last week. And as we can see, this is Monday, this is Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we would be plotting our Fibonacci. Since it's a sell, it's going to be like this. Here to here. Here to here. So the sell signal is around this point. And as we can see, our 50 Fibonacci actually is at this point already. Okay. So this is a little bit tricky, because as you can see, we have the sell signal here. Okay. But our sell signal was hit at 50 Fibonacci when there is a buy signal that came out. But this is, as I said, this is a bit tricky. As you can see, there is a buy signal here already. And if you watch our fifth webinar, our exit would always be based on H4, not on H1. But actually, the thing is, I will give 2 examples here. Since the buy signal is here, and the candle didn't close yet, it's still fine if our sell limit at this price is hit, because the candle didn't close yet. So it means our sell limit here would be hit at 1.55980, and our take profit would be around 85 pips. So this means that even there is a buy signal on H1, it's still fine, because the buy signal only came out after the candles closed. But what if the difference is, what if I move this arrow signal here? One moment. If the arrow signal is moved here, we should cancel our sell limit at this point. So there won't be sell limit anymore. And since there is a buy here already, we should close our sell limit the moment this candle closed. But if the arrow is here, since the arrow is here, our sell limit will still be hit and it's still fine. So we would have around 85 pips profit. I hope I discussed this one properly. Did you guys get it? I hope you guys get it. The difference if this candle is here, this arrow signal is here, and this arrow signal is here, there is a little bit difference if you would be able to enter the trade or not. And again, I'll be discussing it for the second time for you guys to understand it more. Since the buy signal is here, as you can see, there is the cross at this candle. The cross is here, and we have our sell limit here at H1 at 50 Fibonacci. This means that we won't close this sell limit yet, because we are not secured, or we don't have any idea if this buy signal would still continue. So this means that after the candle closed, there's a buy signal, but at the middle of it, our sell limit is already hit. Around this would be around M30 or M15 signals, and our sell limit is already hit. But if the buy signal is here, or maybe here, or at least here, we should close our sell limit already at the next candle. So if the buy signal is here at this candle, we should cancel our sell limit and we won't be able to take this trade. But since it is at the candle closing, we would still be able our sell limit. And as I always keep on saying, we won't be basing our exit at H1. All our exits are based on H4. So if there is no sell limit, or there is no sell signal on H4, I mean buy signal on H4, we won't be closing our, or we won't be exiting our trades. So I hope you got this one properly, because this is a bit tricky. No, do you have guys question? One moment. If take Fibonacci from low to up, if currency up, yeah, you would take it's like taking the trades of Fibonacci at low if the signal is a buy. So if the signal is sell, you would take at the higher Fibonacci. I hope that's your question, Sturdy. Do you guys have a question so far? So I guess no one has a question. Next one is EUR CHF. The overall trend for EUR CHF, as we can see, is a sell for D1, but on H4, as we can see, it was a buy, and there is no proper entry for EUR CHF this week, because the two one moment, I have to mute someone. You guys, I'll mute some of you guys, but if you have a question, just you can just unmute yourself, and everyone is open to talk or chat if you have questions again. So for EUR CHF, once again, the general trend for D1 is sell, but on H4 it became a buy. So the signals here are contradicting, and we won't take any trades for EUR CHF. For EUR GBP, the general trend for EUR GBP is a sell since last month. For H4, since last week, around the closing candle last week. And for H1, unfortunately, there is no signal here anymore, as we can see, because the last signal for EUR GBP was last week. So if you still been able to enter this trade until last week, you are around 111 pips with the open trade. So if for anyone, for all the users who still have a trade at EUR GBP, just have a positive SL, which is around 60 pips profit at least, to secure your profit. If the market reversed, you would have already a profit. For EUR JPY, one moment, let me remove this one. So for EUR JPY, the trend here is buy since last month. For H4, as we can see, it was buy for 2 weeks now. And for H1 this week, we would plot it, and as we can see, there was a buy around this part and 2 days prior from it. So if it is Thursday, we would plot it until Tuesday, but this is the Fibonacci level around here. Oh, one moment. It's gonna be like this around here. So as we can see, the buy signal is about below 50 Fibonacci, and which is the candle close of a buy signal, which is this one. Let me zoom it so you would guys see it properly, which is around this. This is the closing candle for the buy signal, which is 127.705. And if you would have a buy limit here, we would, no, it's not buy limit, we would enter the buy signal already. It went up to 48 pips, but our TP is around 75 pips. Since it's go down here already, we still need to hold our trade. So we are just around the positive 3 or 4 pips for Aud Jpy this time. And for those who didn't manage to take this trade, you can just simply re-enter this Aud Jpy. But for me, I guess while I'm analyzing this one, I've already should have closed it, because as you can see, EUR is very weak and JPY is very weak too on D1. It's on the same direction. JPY is negative, EUR is negative too. So it's still very weak. The same as on H1 time frame, it's very weak. So there is a possibility that this would reverse. That's why for me, I'm a bit undecided here. So rather than holding my trade, I'll just exit this trade, since it's a bit contradicting already. For EUR NZD, this is the one that I'm telling you, everyone. This is a bit more advanced, and I'll try to discuss it thoroughly. So for D1, let's check D1. This is a sell signal since October. So this means that we would only be checking sell signals for H1 for EUR NZD. For H4, as we can see, this is a sell already. Actually, the time is, let me put a box here so we would know, because this is like the around Thursday already, I guess, or Monday or Friday. So this means that the rectangle with the orange box is where the sell signal on EUR NZD started, and we would check the H1 time frame. And as we can see, this is the only sell signal that we got at Friday. So I'll remove it now. So this is Friday, right? And we would plot our signal. This is Friday, so it's the plot would start at Wednesday. So it's gonna be here. As we can see, the sell signal is around this point, right? And this is below 23.6 already. And no, one moment, I've put it wrong. So as we can see, this is below 61.8 already, and we won't be able to really take this trade anymore, since H1 is below 61.8, and it's very near the 100 Fibonacci level already. This is on H1 time frame, and if you would stop our analysis here, we won't be able to take this trade anymore. But here's the twist here. If you would check the H4 time frame for EUR NZD, so again, everyone, this is we are at H4 time frame. We would move like two more weeks here. On H1, we would be plot our Fibonacci 2 days more, right? 2 days prior. Here on H4, since this is like the weekly, every period separator that we would see, it's on a weekly, we would plot our Fibonacci 2 weeks prior. So it would be around here, around this, right? And as you can see, this is the 50 Fibonacci. So on H1, actually, we would see that yeah, there is a sell signal here, but one moment. Actually, you can plot it up to here. Yeah. So as you can see, actually, or maybe let's move it around here. Am I right? Oh no. Let's put it back to the. Oh no, this is. I guess this is the one that I missed. Did I get it now? Okay. One moment. So as we can see, this is the plot for H1. But if you would check actually the 50 the H4 time frame, which is around here, it hit the 50 Fibonacci at this point. At this point, so on H1 there is no really entry for EUR NZD since it's very near the. Did I plot it again on reverse? Oh, I'm very sorry, everyone. That's why I've plotted on the wrong direction. So it's gonna be like this. Yeah. So actually on H1 there is no really entry for this. But if you would check the H4 time frame, it's still on the 50 Fibonacci at this point of the candle, which is around this point. The 50 Fibonacci around this point on H4. But because on H1, if you would plot it already, if you've seen the graph before, the graph is around the 150 Fibonacci is around this point already, at around this red line, and we can't really enter this trade anymore. But if you would plot the Fibonacci at H4, it would still hit our 50 Fibonacci at this point. And instead of entering at H1 then, we could enter the EUR NZD at H4 time frame because we are still at the 50 Fibonacci. So instead of entering at H1 at this point, which is here, we could enter the trade here above it, which is here. This is the H4 time frame, and our 100 Fibonacci will be our TP, which is around the 150 pips take profit. This is the signal if we can't enter the H1. Sometimes there are times that you can actually check this one, but on other time frames, actually, if you would notice, I've already discussed the AUD CAD and some of it, and I didn't discuss the H4 because there is no setup for H4 for this kind of signals, because as you can see, for AUD CAD it's already above, it's very near the 100 Fibonacci already, the same as AUD CHF, AUD Jpy. This one is above already too, the high. This is the high already. This one too high. Most of them are at the high, but if you check EUR NZD, it still fits the 50 Fibonacci. That's why here on EUR NZD, this is a special case where you can enter the trade at 50 Fibonacci. Since if you plot it at EUR NZD, we can take this trade. So instead of plotting it on H1, we can plot it on H4 too. And it's the same setup. And we can still enter the trade on EUR NZD with the H4 setup. So I guess, I hope I've discussed this part. I know there are some more H4 setup that's gonna come until USD Jpy that I'll be discussing. This is just the first setup that I discussed for EUR NZD. One moment from Gabriel. At the entry moment for H daily, we're short like 1H, so it wasn't stop loss in my account. EUR Jpy, I put break even. Let me check EUR CHF. Oh, you enter a trade at EUR CHF? Maybe around here. Because at the middle of the week, the signal on EURCHF became buy. But let's check the H1 time frame for EURCHF, so I will be able to discuss it to you. But as you can see, it doesn't fit anymore because EURCHF buy is around this point. So at the moment for H daily, we're short. Like, why did you have a short here? Oh, one moment. Because there's the overall signal here is sell. So I guess around this point, these yellow backs are all sell for last week. So let me check how did you enter your EURCHF trade, huh? And we would plot our Fibonacci here because the signal was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right. So it's here. The first signal is around this time. If we would plot it, it's gonna be the past 2 days. Oh, one moment. I plotted wrongly. It's because it's a sell, so we would put it like this. So EUR 50 is around this point. You would enter here, but your take profit is here, 18.5, 16. Oh yeah, you are a bit negative here. If you manage to enter EURCHF by around 16 or 17 pips. Yeah, 17. What's 1702? Wednesday. Yeah, I saw it. You have a little bit negative on EURCHF. Because actually I don't take this kind of trades already because as you can see, the profit here because EURCHF, as we all know, is like a very ranging market, a very ranging pair most of the time, especially back then when you started I forgot what year was that, where EURCHF doesn't really move that much. That's why I'm not really a fan of EURCHF. So but I saw your setup. Yeah, we are negative 17 pips around on EURCHF. But it's fine. It's not that big. Negative 17 pips compared to some of our profits. So the next one, I'll be discussing. I'm done with EURNZD, the setup of EURNZD. As I hope I've discussed this part properly. On EURUSD, the general trend on EURUSD is sell, but there was a buy on H4 actually. This last month. This a few hours before the market closed. So for this coming week, there is no really proper setup for EURUSD. We still need to wait for some sell signals to come out on EURUSD. On GBP AUD, so the general trend for GBP is a buy. For H4, it was a buy too since the market opened. So we would just be checking for buy setup on GBP AUD. So we would plot the Fibonacci level again, which is would be like this for the past 2 days. So this is lower, so this would be here. So actually, this is this would be the setup. So we would have our buy limit at 50 Fibonacci. It didn't actually hit our 50 Fibonacci here, as you can see. So this is the 50 Fibonacci. So we would have wait for it to hit at around here. It went to 116 pips, but actually it became a sell already. It became sell already around this point, so there's no really proper setup for GBP AUD because we missed this kind of retracement, which is just like around 2 pips for GBP AUD. As well, it's the only SL of the week. Yeah, the EURCHF. I've checked it also. The only SL that we got for this is EURCHF because most of the trades this week I saw was most of them are actually positive. For GBP CAD, let's check GBP CAD. The general trend for GBP CAD D1 is buy. For H4 is buy too, so we would only be checking for buy signals. So this is the buy signal. So this is the buy signal around this time, or let's start at around the February 15. There's a buy at the first week, so we would plot it like this up to here. So actually it almost hit our 50 Fibonacci around this point, but it didn't. So it's a mistrade and it's fine. Don't feel bad about it. So we don't have any entry for GBP CAD, the same as here, because if you would check it, the Fibonacci level would be like this, and the 50 Fibonacci is here already, and no retracement hit it. So it's a mistrade for GBP CAD too. For GBP CHF, I know it's the same. General trend here is buy, so only buy signals on H4 too. On H1 it was a buy, and there's no really Fibonacci level that could hit here, so we don't have really a trade at GBP CHF. On GBP JPY, I know the only trade that we got here is a GBP NZD. GBP JPY is a missed one too. H4 is a buy too on H1. There is this buy signal, but as you can see, it's almost at the top part already, and at the highest already, and it won't hit our Fibonacci level. But on GBP NZD, so it's fine if you miss some of the GBP pairs, but there is a GBP NZD that I know that there's a signal here, because general trend again for GBP NZD on D1 is buy, so we would only be looking for buy signals. On H1 too, the same. So here is the GBP NZD buy for H1. This was the last Thursday, and we would plot it like this. So it's gonna be here, around here. Actually, yeah, I know this is how I plotted it. So as we can see, this is the closing candle for GBP NZD, and the price is around this point, 1.92967, and it's below 50 Fibonacci already, and we can already take this trade, not have a buy limit, but have a buy already, and our TP is at 100 Fibonacci, so it's around 50 pips profit for GBP NZD. And as you can see, it even hit our 161.8 Fibonacci, which is around 108 pips, but I would just take the 100 Fibonacci instead. So it's a profit for GBP NZD. For GBP USD, I know it's a missed trade too. We can't take this trade because of the Fibonacci level, so it's fine. On NZD CAD, I know it's the same. This one is D1, so we would only be checking for buy signals, and but the buy signal on NZD CAD only came out like 12 hours before the market closed, so there is no really buy signal on NZD CAD. But this week there will be more buy signals on NZD CAD, and once it hit our setup on Fibonacci levels, we could enter a trade on NZD CAD. So let's check for NZD CAD this week. On NZD CHF, this is a little bit tricky again. So on D1, as we can see, it's a general trend is a buy. On H4, there is a buy too, which is around this point. On H1, if you would check H1 actually and plot it here, it's gonna be like this. All right. It didn't hit our 50 Fibonacci level already, because even it looks like it hit here. The closing candle for NZD CHF is around this point. So from that point to here is a buy. Let me put a yellow square here so we would know when does the buy signal on H1 started. But if you would check our H4 again, and then I'll remove this Fibonacci level, we would be plotting our Fibonacci around this point. As we can see, it hits the 50 Fibonacci level on NZD CHF. Everyone. So this is the 50 Fibonacci level, and the H4 signal came out too here. As you guys can remember, once again, H1, this is the H1, right? And I've put the yellow rectangle after the candle closed on H1. So it means the H4 signal is inside the yellow box. This means that the signal came on H4, not on H1. So instead of plotting the Fibonacci level on H1, we can plot it too on H4 time frame. So if you would plot the H4 time frame with the Fibonacci, it's gonna be like this. So this is it's gonna be like this. And as we can see, the 50 Fibonacci is here. The buy signal came out here. So instead of entering a trade above 50, we should wait for it to hit our 50 Fibonacci level, which is at this level at around 0.64549. Then our TP is at 100 Fibonacci. So I'm plotting the Fibonacci level at 100 at H4, but it's the same setup: 50 Fibonacci for our buy limit, and our take profit is around here, which is around 47 pips for NZD CHF. I hope you guys follow this one, how we plot it on H4. Since there are no proper entry for H1, and there is a signal too on H4, we can just simply plot our Fibonacci level on H4, and we would get a buy signal. Since it's H4, our 100 level is a little bit higher than the H1, the way we plot H1. And so we would have to enter the trade around Wednesday, and we would have a take profit at Friday. That's 2 days holding. You're holding your trades for 2 weeks. So far, guys, do you have any questions so far? If not, let me continue on NZD-JPY, the way we plot H1. One moment. And so let's go on H1. I mean on NZD-JPY. So on NZD-JPY, this is a bit tricky too. As we can see, the general trend for NZD-JPY is buy. On H4, it was buy since the start of the week. On H1, we would only be looking for buy signals again. And as we can see, this was Friday already, actually. Friday last week. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The signal came out at Thursday. So you can just plot it here like this. So actually, there is a signal on H1 here. And you can enter a buy. One moment. Yeah, you can enter a buy at this price at NZD-JPY buy. So the first signal is here, and our TP is around 50 pips for NZD-JPY. So it's a simple setup. I thought it's H4 time frame too. So it's a setup at H1 too, and it's a 50 pips profit for NZD-JPY because it is below the 50 Fibonacci. So on NZD-USD, let's check NZD-USD. The general trend is buy for NZD-USD. Since October, it was buy, and on H4, there is a little bit of buy here, sell, and buy. But let's check if there is some setups for here. One moment. I guess this is a setup. Let me put a box here so you guys can follow. This means that this yellow box again is a buy signal for H4 from this candle to this candle until the candle closed here. So on H1 we would plot it. So actually the setup is in a H4 signal. The H4 signal came out at this price. So if you would plot it on H1, it's gonna be like this, and this is the 50 Fibonacci. Let me remove this now. It didn't actually hit our 50 Fibonacci around this point, but if it's here, yeah, it's we can just it's not a proper setup for NZD-USD because as you can see on H4 too, it's coming ups and downs. But if you just hold it, actually you can just simply have a profit here, but it This one is a bit complicated already. But for basic usage of it, we won't be have a proper entry for NZD USD. So the next one is USD Cad. One moment. I have a suggestion for you to add Fibonacci to an indicator that works together. What do you mean, Turkey? I'll add the Fibonacci for the MACD-CSM indicator, because actually I'm not really, because I'm so used to this kind of levels already. There are really times that I don't plot it anymore. I'm just actually plotting these Fibonacci levels for you guys so you could follow. But actually, if you would ask me personally, I don't plot Fibonacci levels already, because once I saw the signal, because maybe I'm so used to it, I don't have to plot this anymore. I'm just plotting this to explain things more easier to you. Because actually, if you would remember our first to third webinar, I guess, I'm not teaching the Fibonacci because I'm not really using it. I've just realized that the easiest way for you to understand how I use this indicator is with the Fibonacci level. Because maybe because I'm so used to this kind of levels that I don't plot it anymore. But, oh, I see. So you want me to add Fibonacci levels. Let me check if I can add it here and see what I can do. Because yeah, sometimes Fibonacci can be tricky too if you don't know how to use it. Let me think about it, Turkey, about your suggestion. So let's continue for USD CAD. The general trend again for USD CAD is sell, since this is around the second week, I guess. On H4, it was only sell. Let me remove this so it won't be so. My chart would be a bit cleaner. On USD CAD, actually, if you guys could see, this is only started the sell signal around this point. So there is no really proper setup for USD CAD this week. On USD CHF, let me remove this one. The USD CHF is a buy signal since the start of February. On H4, it was a buy around only here, around this rectangle, around this rectangle, around this point of H4. And on H1, as we would check, there is no really entry of H4 around this point. As we can see, there's no really entry for H1 because it started here. So if there's a signal, it's a bit contradicting. Yeah, so there's no really proper setup for USD CHF. But next week, once we got a buy signal on USD CHF buy, we can enter a trade on buy here. Once the setup is on Fibonacci levels are there, we can enter a USD CHF buy next week. On USD JPY, so let's check D1. D1 is a buy. The general trend for USD JPY is here. On H4, it was buy since the start of this week too. On H1, as we can see, there is the last buy signal for USD JPY was February 11. This was last week. So if you're holding your trade up to this kind of resistance, yeah, you can still you can still hold it. At least you're still positive 65 pips if you're still holding your trade since last week. But for this week, there is no trade for USD JPY because, as you can see, there's no buy signal on H1 time frame. And that's all for the 28 pairs from AUD CAD to USD JPY. And lastly, let me show you another parameter that is available for our MACD-CSM. It's the MACD-CSM line. This is what I'm actually usually discussing before our market review ends. But this time, let me show you these lines so you guys would understand that this is available on our MACD-CSM indicator. As you can see, our default parameter actually would only show you two lines. Since this is USD JPY, USD is red, so this is the red line. JPY is the pink one, so this is the JPY line. Since there is a cross here, there is the sell signal here. But if we want to check, since this is just a market review, and we want to check the overall movement of all the currencies since last week, let's use the MACD-CSM line. So instead of having only two lines, we would able to see two lines here. And this is the trend of the pairs since last week. So for AUD, let's discuss AUD. Last week it's positive, then it went a bit down, and now general trend for AUD is a buy, is a long. Is long, which is buy signals only. NZD is the second highest currency, or the second strongest currency for this week, and you may still see it up to next week. That is still oh, one moment. This is on H1 time frame. Let me check GB. Yeah, the H4. I'm sorry about that, everyone. Because if we are making if we are checking the general trend, we should always use the H4 time frame, because H1 time frame, actually this could change on the next day, because our parameter here is just 26, which means that the past 26 hours. So as you can see, usually it changed for the next 26 hours. But if you want to have a more stable signal, we should use H4, since it's the weekly signal for those kind of currencies. So for GBP, as you can see, it's more than 2 weeks now that it's still positive, and right now it's the strongest of all the pairs, GBP. And it says, based on the analysis of the indicator, it is best to be paired with CHF, since CHF is really weak. As you can see, this is the orange one. This is the CHF graph. It was positive last week. This is the zero line, as you can see, guys. This is positive last week, but this week it went low. It was weak. This for this week, the CHF. It's the weakest of all the currencies. The second strongest is AUD, this one. And as you can see, it's a very strong signal going up for AUD. So if you guys wanna get more proper trend, follow AUD signals, because as you can see, if you see the graph of AUD that we discussed before, most AUD pairs are actually going up. This one is going up, AUD CHF. Aud Jpy is very strong. Aud Cad is very strong too. I know there is a user on AUD on our group who's milking AUD USD. I don't know if they already closed the AUD USD trade that they got last week, but it's really a good one, because as you can see, AUD is positive and USD here is negative. And if you would check the USD graph, it was negative last week. It went a little strong and it dropped again. So the general trend for USD this week is still a sell. For JPY, this is NZD, the pink one. JPY is the bit light one. This is the JPY line. This one, it's still the weakest. As you can see, it's still one of the weakest currency until now. For CAD, it's just a bit neutral. If you would just check it, it's always near zero since last week. And this week, it's still weak, then strong, then weak again. Then now it's near the zero line, which is the neutral. So there is no proper trend for CAD right now. So I guess I discussed all the 8 currencies already and the 28 pairs. Do you guys have more questions? On Facebook, for people who are watching me on Facebook, if you guys have questions, you can just comment or ask me here. And to the users who are at our webinar, do you guys have any question? If no more question, I'll be closing this webinar already, and you will be able to see this recording on my Facebook page and on my YouTube. No more question, everyone? Yeah, thank you for being here too, Gabrielle, and see you for the next webinar. So if you guys don't have any question, I will be closing our webinar now. Hope to see you guys again next week, and I hope you manage to understand some of the strategies that we're using for MACD-CSM using the Fibonacci level. More peeping for you guys. See you next week. Thank you, guys.